The war in World War II was much closer to the average small town than most people would think today. It's often thought, well, the war wasn't fought in America, on our mainland. Well, kind of not and kind of yes.
September 15th, 1944. 200 German prisoners of war arrive in Hannibal, Missouri, a small river town on the banks of the mighty Mississippi.
When you're in a wartime economy, it helps the gut bucket manufacturing industries all throughout small towns in America. So by having a wartime production, you have full employment.
Following the Depression and men at war, women filled the job vacancies. Jobs included working for International Shoe in Town, which provided a vast amount of boots for U.S. troops.
The women took over the industrial jobs. That's how the war affected them. The war touched everyone.
As these prisoners of war entered Hannibal, Missouri in September of 1944, they were tasked with matching more than 2 million pairs of military boots. As they entered town, down Main Street along Warren Barry Drive, they were given food from community members welcoming them to their makeshift home. Tents all throughout the inside of Clements Field.
They would be U.S. Army quality tents. So these aren't necessarily individual pup tents that we think of for camping. These are Army style. They would extend from home plate out to what would now be left field, and then go from this wall over towards where the modern scoreboard is.
Historian Ken Marks says accusations exist of POWs coddled in camp. Prisoners worked roughly 12-hour days. Thanks to the Geneva Convention, they had certain freedoms equal to U.S. troops.
The Germans would be allowed to participate in sport on their own, so you may see a little bit of football. Football in our term being soccer.
The stone wall gave a surreal sensation, but the overlooking Admiral Kuntz Armory allowed Colonel C.J. Blake and his 25 soldiers to oversee daily camp life.
It was perfect. You're looking down from above, you have your security, yet the situation isn't set up like a barracks. You couldn't. It's only 6 weeks.
2 million pairs of shoes had to be matched in that time, a small amount compared to the 126 million pairs the U.S. government needed sorted from liberated countries.
The idea of a POW camp must have been very alien to towns like Hannibal. They would have never imagined it because, after all, we're not being invaded right now. We're not the theater of war. So the idea of bringing POWs from Europe over to Missouri to work seemed a little unusual.
Reporting in Hannibal, David Amelotti, KHQA News.